More has been done since Parkland than ever before after any tragedy. So I will say that. And in Florida, we have made wholesale changes to the safety and security of all schools throughout our state. For instance, we have an armed school safety officer on every campus, every K through 12 campus. And there are 4,000 public schools in Florida where there's an armed school safety officer. We have guardians, so they're non-officers, but school personnel that after they go through a very rigorous training process from the sheriff's office can carry concealed, and they're a force multiplier. We saw what can happen when you don't have an armed officer on campus, and they were not able to stop the Nashville shooter for 14 minutes. And you leave a gunman with an AR-15 roaming around hunting the halls of your school for 14 minutes, and there's going to be dead. There's no two ways around it. You've got to, number one, stop the killing, and then you've got to stop the dying. And unfortunately, there was nobody to do that until the officers arrived. So we have threat assessment teams in every school in the state of Florida. We have panic apps in every school. We have an anonymous threat reporting system, which you have in Colorado, really the gold standard, safe to say. And we've done so much even more than that.
One of the things I'm most proud about of the work you've done, and I've watched from afar and been envious of all the things you've gotten accomplished in Florida and hoping that we can do that in Colorado, is the dashboard and transparency. Tell us a little bit about what prompted that and what you've gotten done in that regard and how we can bring that to Colorado.
But number one, I wanted to be on the commission because I wanted to find out what happened to Alex, and I wanted to hold those individuals accountable. But one thing that I learned was that every school in the state of Florida was required to report incidents of violence and drugs to the State Department of Education. I found that Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, for the 3 years prior to the tragedy, were basically reporting zeros. Zero bullying, zero threats, zero intimidation, zero assaults. The commission that I'm on really took a keen interest in that and started to hold those school districts accountable for the data and for the accuracy. And so much that we now have laws in place to hold those school districts accountable, and that if school districts are underreporting, the commissioner of education can withhold the superintendent's salary. Right. So we Safe Schools for Alex, which is the charity that my wife and I started. When I started to delve into that data, it was basically a massive Excel spreadsheet with millions of cells of data. And my first glance at it, I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And so it was basically useless in the format that it was previously. And so that's why we created this school safety dashboard, which is housed on our website, safeschoolsforalex.org. And now every parent can go online and look at what's happening inside their school, because when I sent Alex to school, I had no idea that he was going to school with a very violent individual. But because of the dashboard, we really, it takes the blindfold off of parents' eyes and really opens their eyes to what's happening on your campus and in your kid's school when you drop them off. So the goal of the dashboard is really to empower parents, give them the information that they need to be a part of the solution to making their school safe, at the same time reducing violence, reducing suspensions and exclusionary discipline, and also creating a positive culture and climate on campus, which can only happen if you're prioritizing safety and security above all else. And I think that's really the moral to the story, is that in Florida, we get it, that we understand, and we stress this to all of our administrators, that if the kids and the staff don't make it home every day, nothing else matters. And it should not take a terrible mass tragedy in every community for people to take it seriously.